unless we were talking.
Yeah, generally. I think we're streaming now.
Says live,
Okay,
so that usually means we're streaming.
okay.
So we're still waiting for that elusive sixth board member. I think we look like Bill is offline right now, but he's here.
I'm here. It says I'm offline.
It's got a little circle. Oh, okay. You are back. It had a little circle on it, like you were offline. Okay.
Hi, it's Marcia. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm late.
Marcia. Yay.
I'm by phone. I'm sorry. Yeah.
We have our quorum then. We have 6 board members present.
Text me if it is.
So I think we can call the special meeting to order at 12:04 p.m.
And I think I do want to let you all know that we are joined by our new Assistant Director, Natalie Hurto, who is at her first day of work. So welcome, Natalie. And just want to double check who the 57 phone number is. Is that maybe Peter Hubbard?
I think Marcia.
Marcia. Okay.
Yes.
Hey, Marcia. So we have a quorum. So I guess, Megan, you're probably telling us about the bids and.
Yes, I'm going to share my screen just so we can all look at the same thing. We'll just move it. All right, so as you know, we had our bid opening on Monday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Sorry, I'm just trying to start my slideshow. And we had bids from 3 local contractors, RMB Mechanical from Schenectady, Team McGilligan from Troy, and DeJezer Mechanical, also from Schenectady, who was our contract number 2, the plumbing work contractor for the main project. So they have a good familiarity with the building and the systems. DeJezer is, as you can see, according to this bid tabulation sheet, our low bidder. The documents were written to have contractors provide a base bid for the evaporative cooler unit and all of the associated piping, controls, and such for a full replacement. And that was for an evaporative cooler unit that had a galvanized finish. For additional information and comparison purposes, we asked the contractors each to provide and add alternate value to substitute or upgrade the metal finish of the evaporative cooler unit to stainless steel so that we could have that number for comparison's sake to see if it was something to still consider. Although we'd reviewed it at the board meeting, we just wanted to keep it in the back of our minds for additional information. So we have received a full and complete bid submission from DeJezer Mechanical. They are our low bidder for the base bid, or if we were to also take the add alternate amount. I reviewed these bids with our engineer, ME Engineering, who has done all of the plumbing, electrical, and mechanical design work for the project. Actually, they were a consultant for the library even before we were brought on a few years back. So they've got a great understanding of the building and the systems in it. So they reviewed the bids. Their recommendation would be to accept the add alternate to the contract so that the full amount would be $155,000 for DeJezer Mechanical Inc. To have the upgraded metal finish be stainless steel. And they have this recommendation for a few reasons. The first is that the stainless steel finish will likely extend the lifespan of the unit. Galvanized finish with the proper water treatment should provide approximately 20 years of lifespan. Stainless steel will potentially add an additional 5 to 10 years, which would obviously create long-term cost savings when you're thinking about replacing every 20 years versus 25 to 30 years. The stainless steel finish has a shorter startup period, which is the primary reason why ME was recommending this approach right now, given that it is almost mid-March right now, and the lead times for these units if we take the stainless steel option, we don't need to do any water treatment for the system before it goes online and starts producing cooling. So the stainless steel option would get the building air conditioning system running by early June. The galvanized metal finish usually requires 4 to 12 weeks of treatment. We would assume 6 in your case. So that would put this air conditioning system online around mid-July. So if we were concerned about getting the cooling going earlier in the warm season, stainless steel would be a good direction. And they were specifically concerned about if for some reason you went with the water, with the galvanized finish, but then reduced the water treatment requirements, there's the risk of developing white rust in the unit and then shortening the lifespan of the galvanized finished evaporative cooler unit. So they wanted to give you this information so that you can make your decision about which is the best approach to take for the evaporative cooler unit, given that it is March right now and summer season will be upon us before we know it. So I'm going to go back a slide so you can look at the bids one more time, and I can answer any questions you may have.
Who gave us the original opinion that the galvanized was okay?
ME Engineering. So it's a completely fine option, and it will give you about 20 years of lifespan, give or take, assuming that the water treatment original prepping is done properly and then that system is maintained, which you have a service contract with a water treatment company that does the servicing for the building.
So
I don't understand.
why. I don't understand what
Water treatment
Sorry.
for external stuff. Why does the galvanized steel need a water treatment but not the stainless?
Stainless steel inherently does not absorb or react to chemicals in water. So it's sort of pre-treated, whereas galvanized is not. So the chemicals in the water treatment system need to be, we need to prep the evaporative cooler. So they don't just flush it
So
with water. And then,
the stainless steel is on the interior as well, and
correct.
okay, just on the outside. Okay, gotcha.
And to note that the state requires water treatment in public buildings due to about 10 years ago, there's Legionnaire's disease outbreak throughout a number of communities. So you're required to treat all the water, even that just services equipment as well as drinking water.
The same engineer gave us the original opinion as now is saying that we should use stainless steel. Is that correct, Megan?
That's correct. They think you're going to save money in the long term over, a 60-year period. You'll be only doing 1 replacement rather than 2. And their primary concern is making sure that the staff and the patrons are comfortable this summer, that the air conditioning system is up and running, in June rather than mid-July.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not throwing stones at them, but it seems to me that the reasoning now was known originally when the board was given the information and we voted on the galvanized. The startup period, the water treatment, clearly a system that's going to start mid-July, a cooling system is not such a great solution as opposed to early June. But all of this was known when we had the board meeting before. So I'm wondering why this wasn't brought to our attention when we voted the first time around.
Megan?
Yes.
I think they did say that it would increase the lifespan. In fact, our own head of maintenance, Lou, strongly recommended the stainless steel. And I can remember adding my 2 cents worth as a non-plumber, having been told many, many times that if you can go with stainless steel versus galvanized, you're far better off. So I have no problem with adding the stainless steel option, because I really think over the long haul, traditionally it's a far better solution.
Yeah, Barbara, I agree with you. I was just wondering why we didn't know that last time we voted.
Mm-hmm.
That was my only point, since it's the same engineers. I think Vanessa did go online, I thought, and gave us some information about galvanized versus stainless steel. I have no problem voting for this. I'm just wondering why we weren't, you know, this wasn't the option, as this wasn't presented last time around. That was my only point. Because I think given this information, we would have voted for the stainless steel initially.
I'm trying to think back and remember the discussion we had at the previous board meeting, and I could be misremembering. I had thought there was a discussion about the concern with the galvanized being salt, and that this was going to be raised up so that there wouldn't be a concern
Right.
with the plowing and the road salt. Was that, am I
That's, I
misremembering?
agree. No,
You're-
no, you're absolutely,
You were correct about
that
that.
that was
I-
a specific question.
I also think that we talked about the lifespan going from 20 to 25 rather than 25 to 30 on this. And I also, we didn't think about the water treatment aspect of it, okay, that would allow this to come online earlier.
Part of the,
Right,
the
that was
initial-
what was, men-
I'm sorry.
neither one was mentioned as far as I can remember.
So if I could possibly jump in, my recollection is that part of what was communicated to the board by Megan and perhaps by myself at the board meeting was that at one point, whether it was in a design meeting or a board meeting, we were under the impression that the engineer was saying, we really can't promise any additional life. And at that point, you know, it was kind of Lou against the world, with all due respect, just because he was saying stainless would be better, but the engineer was not confirming that. And
Right.
so that's where I think the source, and if I understand you correctly, Megan, from a chat we had the other day, they sort of partially answered your question at one point. And, you know, when you've had a chance to flesh it out with them and give them all the perspectives, then they said, yeah, I think stainless steel would be better. Is that fair, Megan?
That is fair. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. But I think once these bids came in, or as we were out to bid, and timelines were improving for production recently, so there's that benefit. I think our engineers did a little more research on lifespans based on what they had done their final specification on, and the reports back from the manufacturers about lifespans on these units and the ASHRAE updated standards for longevity of metal materials. So they've
Yeah.
provided more information to me to forward to you folks.
I just want to point out one thing math-wise. If we look at the lowest bids and we take the conservative estimates and say that the galvanized will last 20 years and that the stainless steel will add 5 years to it, the cost for either option ends up being almost the same, slightly cheaper per year for the stainless steel upgrade. So
Right, yeah.
if it really does
Yeah.
extend it by even 5 years, it ends up being cost effective, I think.
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
So do we have money in the budget for the increase?
You do have money in the budget for the increase. And this
And-
will also help the operating budget in the future extend replacement costs.
And I'm working off of a smartphone here and I can't see the spreadsheet. But if you add the basic plus the stainless steel, the vendor that you selected is still the cheapest?
They are, which doesn't usually happen.
155. Yeah, it comes out to 155 total, which is cheaper than the second bid's galvanized. And the third bid comes out to 168 and change. So it's cheaper
Mhm.
across the board.
Mhm.
So what's our next step? We just need to make a motion to accept the bid with the stainless steel option?
Correct.
Okay
Yep.
with that, Barbara?
So
It's
moved.
appropriate. I'd like to make that motion.
I would
Brooke,
second
Second.
that.
who seconded?
Andy?
Everybody.
Andy?
Everybody.
Yep, everybody.
Okay.
Okay, just one comment for me before we vote. It's Marcia. Megan, I'd like you to document the new information that we got so that we can, when we go back, we know why we've changed our mind from the first, using the engineer's information, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay.
Can I briefly comment too? I think this makes sense. I agree with what seems to be the consensus on this. I'm a little uneasy just process wise. We had, we discussed, we had a full, 11-member board meeting and we voted to go one way and then we're coming back with a bare quorum and overriding that and going the other. It just feels, not ideal process wise. I think, I don't know if there's anything we can do about that today. We have to make a decision and this does seem to make sense, but I don't know if there's a way we can avoid that in the future, or if this is just kind of a one-off situation.
Mhm.
Well, we have a quorum, so if everyone agrees, we can
Yep.
we can vote. And it's there's not really another way to do it unless we wanted to wait until next week. So I think the idea was to get going on the project, and that's what why we're having this special meeting. So there's a motion on the floor.
Everyone got the notice of the meeting, correct?
Excuse me?
Everyone got the notice of the special meeting and the reason for it, correct?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out, maybe, well, I know Norina was texting me. She was trying to get into the meeting. I think she may have logged into the design meeting by mistake. So I don't know if we should wait for her, but I don't know if I don't know, Tim, if you wanted to try to contact Norina and tell her which number to call in. I wasn't really able to.
Sure, I could do that. Norina is texting me now. She's may not have had time to read the emails about the special board meeting, so she's been texting me like, "Where's everyone in the design committee?" So
Yeah, I know.
if you want me to give her that phone number, I can do that. But then you got to explain everything to her again.
That's
before you
true.
vote.
Maybe we should
Yeah.
just go ahead with the vote because we have a motion on the floor.
And we have a quorum. We have a quorum.
We do. We have 6 of us here. So since we have the motion, I will take the I will ask for everyone to tell me aye or nay. Phil,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes,
Barbara,
Yes.
and Marcia.
Yes.
And I also say yes. So we have 6 of us unanimous. So the motion passes at 12:21 for to accept the low bid and to accept it for the galvanized for the stainless steel. Correct? So we have
correct.
accepted that.
So you'd like to
That-
accept the bid from DeJezer Mechanical for their base bid and add alternate?
Is that
Right.
how we want to do it? The add the alternate to the low bid, the alternate for stainless steel. Correct. That was the motion that passed.
I have one other informality to complete for this bid acceptance.
Mhm.
Because this was a single prime bidding, New York State municipal law requires that the contractor provide a list of their subcontractors and their subcontract amount values so that they are public record. So DeJezer has provided their subcontractor listing. For plumbing and gas fitting, that work will be self-performed by DeJezer Mechanical. For steam heating, hot water heating, ventilation, and air conditioning apparatus, that work will be self-performed by DeJezer Mechanical. However, the electrical wiring and standard illumination fixtures, that work will be completed by Dynamic Electrical Systems, LLC, and their subcontract value amount is $8,250. I'll forward this for Jenna to add to the record, but I just wanted to read it officially out loud so that it can be public information.
Okay, but you didn't need another vote.
Nope, that's just
Okay. That's just the public information.
That,
Okay.
yeah, that amount is subsumed in the 155?
It is.
Okay.
And that's all I
Okay.
have.
Was there anything
Kathy,
else? Excuse me? Yes.
Kathy, I need to just do a brief talk about logistics for those who are going to come to the Design Steering Committee meeting, which happens next. It is a separate stream, and it's going to take me about 5 to 7 minutes to get that meeting going. So if you're on the committee and you're coming to the meeting, that's great. Or if you're a board member who wants to sit in, that's great as well. But once we end this meeting, it'll be probably 5 to 7 minutes before the next one starts.
Tim, will Jenna post that new link, or how do we link in?
Well, it was in the email she sent yesterday. Both links were in it.
Both links are there, okay.
Yeah, so if you have any trouble, just get in touch with Jenna and she'll send it back out. But so
Okay,
okay.
so we
sounds
need a motion to leave this meeting.
Motion to leave this meeting.
good.
I'll second that.
Bill and Barbara. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, so we are unanimously adjourned at 12:25 p.m.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, folks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.